everything that we do at Supreme Dental, we can speak to.
Sure.
We don't just do things just to do them.
What's the biggest estimate you guys have seen in the United States?
They have two locations now. They've been around 15, 16 years now. I don't think they're planning on packing up and leaving.
Not yet, no.
Yeah.
We finish what we started and we make sure that it's done correct. You're going to get the quality that you deserve for each and every one of the treatments, no matter what it is.
What never is going to change about when you're working with people is people work with people they like. Always tell me, man, I've done my research. You guys are the best. You guys know what you're doing. That's been my experience.
You know, because if you want to come to Supreme and you've done your research with Supreme, why listen to someone that you probably are never going to meet in your life that most likely, just top secret, probably doesn't care about you and doesn't care about your results. Welcome back to Supreme Dental Podcast Studio. You can be anywhere else in the world right now, but you're here with us, and we appreciate that. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Remember, this podcast was meant for you, our patients. My name is Frank Navarro. My wife and I are the owners of Supreme Dental Clinic. Hey, listen, now we're in Spotify, so make sure that you subscribe and you'll be able to hear all of our episodes. I know not all the times you can be watching it, but listening to it, our beautiful voices, and getting informed at the same time, so it's a win-win situation. Today we have two patient coordinators here, two of the newest members to the Supreme family. We have Luis Olivas and we have Ernesto Carranza. How you guys doing today?
Doing pretty good. How about yourself?
Not too bad.
Doing great, Frank. How are you?
Not too bad. I'm doing great. So you guys both traveled here this week.
That's correct.
Let me know where you guys come from. Where you guys travel from?
Go ahead, bro.
I hopped on a plane from Chihuahua, Mexico. Yep.
I came from Louisville, Kentucky. I live in the Midwest, southern Indiana, so took a 4-hour flight from Louisville to Phoenix, and then I was picked up, and here we are.
There you go. How is your English so good if you're from Chihuahua, Mexico?
I grew up in Grand Rapids, Michigan.
Okay.
Yep. Lived there the majority of my life, and now I'm down here, the wife and kids, and
there you go. There you go. I want this episode to be about, we're going to talk about what you guys experience on the day-to-day basis with our patients. We have patients that are super happy to be here. We have patients that have many questions, many concerns, and we're going to talk about those. We're going to address those. And we also have patients that perhaps not always tell us the right information. So I'm going to start it off, okay? So far, obviously, you've been in the dental world for close to 5 years.
Just about, yep.
And you've been in the dental world for...
This is going to be my 5th month.
5th month, but we've been talking about dental for how long?
13 years.
Exactly. So tell me, so far, what is one of the weirdest things you guys have encountered with a patient? Weirdest questions or expectations?
You know, I was actually just talking to Dr. Dulce and Cynthia and the other assistant about this. You were there. How patients ask us if we can be nice to them.
Oh, yeah, I was there too.
Yeah, you were there too. And, I'm like, well, what do you mean? Like, well, my dentist is very cold and doesn't really talk to me. And I'm just kind of laying down there and I'm like, oh, I'm sorry. And so, I've shared to with the assistants before that I get a lot of patients that brag about everyone's chairside manner.
Yeah.
Their ability to make them feel comfortable, answer all their questions, explain what's going on next and what the next process is going to look like, how long it'll take, what the tool is. So, I try to reassure everyone like, hey, look, you're going to get that Supreme VIP treatment from A to Z. From the minute you talk to one of us patient coordinators to the minute you leave the door, we're all going to take care of you. So there's no need for us to we know it's going to happen, but no need for us to put that in anyone's heads, because I'd like to think that that's a big priority for everyone that works here.
No, and just think about how important it is to the patient. You know, if they're asking that, I mean, obviously they're scared. I mean, I would be scared of flying into China and getting a procedure done.
Sure.
And patients sometimes don't understand that we have a lot of, including myself, but a lot of people here that speak English. And we're going to let you know what we're doing, and when we're doing it, and why we're doing it. And we can walk you step by step, because I wouldn't want to go somewhere when I'm going to get surgery done. Does he know what I want? Do I know what he's doing? You know, that language barrier.
Sure.
And, you know, we're blessed not to have that here. What is one of the things that you've heard?
Yeah, I remember speaking to a patient about an all-on-4 procedure, and when we started talking about cost, he said, "Look, Luis, I appreciate everything you're saying, but I certainly don't want to go and get work done in a basement." You know, and I said, what do you mean?
We talked about this before. Like, they think it's like in the back alley, like by a tree or something.
Yeah. And I said, no, you know, you're going to go to a state-of-the-art facility. They're going to take care of you from beginning to end, and they're not going to cut corners. You're going to see the same quality work as you would stateside. And, you don't have to worry about being in someone's basement. You know, that won't be the case.
And if you don't want to pay the price and you want to pay even cheaper prices, I could walk you down the street and you might end up in somebody's apartment. But, I mean, it depends what you're looking for.
Yeah.
Well, look at the compliment that we got this morning when we first got here. You know, all the dentists were outside, and that gentleman came out with the son and was saying, "What are the best dentists in Nacogdones doing out here?" Sitting down and everything. And I was like, "Oh, they need their rest." And he was just elated with the work that he got done. He had brought his son with him. He was a lawyer, and he recommends people, and everyone always says, "Oh, the price." He's like, "Yeah, but the quality that you're getting." And so the quality doesn't stop at just, the whatever services and products we offer. It's the way we interact with our patients from the minute we talk to them to when they're here. And that's straight from his mouth. I was telling Dr. Luis, I wish I had a camera where I could just walk around and just record people, not like a weirdo, right? But and ask them, hey, how long have you been coming to Mexico? How many times have you been to the dentist? We have a portfolio full of patients ourselves, for Supreme Dental that have been coming back for years. You've been doing this for 5 years, right?
Oh, yep, just about.
So, I mean, we've only gotten better, we've only gotten better. And so I like to think that the proof is in the pudding, is what I like to say.
That's what you're saying, yeah.
So, are there some places that look sketchy? Probably. If you take the word of a picker from the street that's full of... you just kind of might look a little suspect.
I mean, that's his job. His job is to tell you whatever you want to hear to take you somewhere else.
Sure. Yeah, I tell patients that they're called pickers because they'll pick you out of the crowd, Oh, this guy looks like he's a little lost, or he might not know where he's going. Mm-hmm. So they pick you out of the crowd, and then they a lot of times just lie to you,
Yeah.
And the thing is that this morning, the patient said that when they were crossing, the pickers would say, "Oh, they're too expensive. They're too expensive." Mm-hmm. I used to tell this to Luis all the time, and I started telling to you, I think, when I would say, tell our patients to say that they're going to Skittle Dental.
No.
Skittle Dental doesn't exist, bro. But tell them, "Oh, I'm going to Skittle Dental." They're going to say, "Oh, they're too expensive. Sure. Oh, they're not good."
They're 2 miles away.
They're 2 miles away, and they don't exist here in Nacogdones yet. Somebody might get the idea, and they start Skittle Dental and think we're giving them promotion. But they're supposed to do that. Their job is to...
That's their hustle.
Yeah, to put that doubt in you, like they are too expensive. Oh, they don't do this, they don't do that. And then you're like, but come with me. Come with me, come with me. And I look kind of raggedy, but come with me. And we will take you somewhere that you probably never heard of before. And we're going to offer you the best dental work in the world for the cheapest price possible.
Yeah, I don't think those two go hand in hand,
They don't click. If I go to a dealership and someone tells me, "I got this Ferrari for $5,000 in the back frame, 2024.
Yeah.
It's too good to be true. It doesn't even make sense. I wouldn't even want to go see it because it wouldn't make sense.
Welcome to Dental Facts. Did you know that your teeth, like your bones, are alive? They got their own blood supply and nerves. A tooth can die. You heard it first at Supreme Dental Podcast. Floss, brush, and keep smiling.
And that's very important. Now, let's jump to that subject. How do you guys feel about, you guys spend days, weeks, months answering questions, answering concerns, listening to so far their dental journey, how that has now worked out for them? Because a lot of the times our patients they're used to patchwork. They go somewhere, they patch something. They go somewhere else, they patch something else. And then they want the crowns, the top, to match the ones on the bottom, the teeth on the bottom. But the teeth on the bottom are very grinded down. And now the teeth on the top are going to be longer because they have to contact. And then they don't like them as long, but then they don't want to change the bottom. So they don't fix it completely. And you guys spend all this time with them. And then they cross the border and they listen to a picker.
You know, I would just question, hey, I'd like to help, can you help me better understand how, you talking to this person off the street within 5 minutes, how that overshadows the amount of time we've spent together going back and forth about your quote, educating you on the process, telling you about our clinic, explaining the accreditations. How does that trump what we did? If it's a cost thing, hey, we never said we were the cheapest, right? But one of the many great things I love about what I do is that everything that we do at Supreme Dental, we can speak to.
Sure.
We don't just do things just to do them. We don't invent our own processes or anything like that. If we are able to do something for you,
Sure.
I'm 150% confident that we can speak to that. Anything. So, when people are doing, I've found that people who do their research, because they're spending a lot of their hard-earned money, right, to come do this.
Sure.
The ones that do their research and look around always tell me, man, I've done my research. You guys are the best. You guys know what you're doing. That's been my experience.
I had a patient call me and say, hey, this guy approached me, and those same zirconia crowns you're offering me, I can get them for, $3,000 cheaper. And so I asked him, what's the warranty on them? He said, he said maybe 2 years. And I said, well, that should speak for a lot. We have a lifetime warranty.
Correct.
So you tell me the difference. Is it worth it? 2 years from now when they fail and you have to replace all 28 of them, what then? Then you're having to redo everything all over again, spending twice.
Yeah. And about the price, you mentioned the price. You also talked about the price a little. If you go to any clinic here that's ADA certified, like the ones that are actually ADA certified, that all their dentists are ADA, not only one dentist and the other three are not, but they say they're ADA.
Sure. They're all under the same number?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Our webpage shows the ADA on each and every one of our doctors because it's not a social security.
Sure.
It's not you can steal their identity, but you can pull them up or you can call the ADA. And that being said, any clinic that has ADA doctors, I consider myself one of the lowest prices out of all of them. Because you work with other clinics that are ADA, and they work pretty good, and
Sure.
the price is way different.
There is a difference for sure.
So, and for the technology that we're working with, and for the techniques that our doctors have, and for being the only clinic in Mexico with 8 international accreditations, I think that our prices are very low, especially with our warranties.
Sure.
You know what I'm saying? 'Cause you would think that, and I'm going to go into something else real quick. How many times have you guys got, because I used to get this here all the time. We were just talking about it before we jumped on podcast. I'm able to get my same work back in Seattle for the same price.
Yeah. It's happened more than once. And I've always asked for proof. I'll tell them, hey, I've been doing this for 3, 4, 5 years, depending on when the conversation took place. Not once has someone been able to send me a screenshot or a photo or anything with a quote that comes even close to what I'm offering.
Obviously, I do my research.
Sure.
I got to take a look at the brands we work with, and I look at the top doctors, and I look at the implant prices in New York and Florida and Seattle and all the major cities, major states, and there's nothing like the price we got here. There's like colleges that do implants around the same price that we do the implants, a little bit more, but they're students that are learning.
Yep.
You know, they're learning, and they're not for all on fours. It's just for individual implants.
Individual single implants, and it just covers the cost of the implant, not the abutment, not the crown.
That's exactly. And it's not somebody who's been doing it for years.
Yep.
It's not someone who got certification in Mexico and it's ADA and it's went to trainings across the world. It's not that person. It's someone who's on their way to perhaps to be somebody great.
Sure.
But you got to be the guinea pig. And I mean, we get that. I mean, I wouldn't want to be the guinea pig unless I couldn't really do it. You know, not everybody could travel all the way to Mexico to get their work done. But then again, if you get it done in the United States and you get it done right, then you have to like pull out a loan.
Sure.
Or you have to. What's the biggest estimate you guys have seen in the United States?
I was just telling Luis about 2 weeks ago, $75,000 for an all-on-4 top and bottom, and this young lady was quoted $44,000 for an all-on-4 just top arch.
I'd have to say the most expensive one was about $79,000 out of New York, and she came here to Supreme and got upper and lower, got the peak. About $24,000 is what she ended up spending.
That's huge. That's what, 70%?
Yeah.
It's huge savings for her.
That's a huge savings.
Yep.
And I can bet you that the warranty here was better. And yes, if something does happen and it's a warranty, and you'd have to come down.
Oh yeah, for sure.
But
yeah, I tell patients, like the gentleman out of Nevada, I think he offers his patients 2 years on the peak process, you know.
Okay.
I said, here it's 6 years.
Mm-hmm.
That means they stand behind their product, you know.
Exactly.
That's 3 times the warranty.
And other things, you guys, that it's a weapon for you guys is we own our clinic.
Yeah.
We don't rent.
Sure.
So a lot of places here rent. Most 99% of the places here rent. Okay, it's very. I could literally tell you with this hand who owns dental clinics here in Algodones. That means that they have a contract for 2 to 5 years.
Sure.
And then if they raise the price and they don't want to, they're gonna move somewhere else, and all those patients are gonna be left without a warranty.
Yeah, I'm not sure if you've heard it yet, but patients do have that concern. Hey, if I start my procedure there, what happens if I can't come back at 6 months, and it's 8 or 9 months? Are they going to be there? You know, and it's like, well, they own the building, the building itself. They have two locations now. They've been around 15, 16 years now. I don't think they're planning on packing up and leaving.
Not
you know?
yet. No.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, we've been around for 16 years. We'll be around for the next 16, you know, God willing. So, and I think that's the beauty of it, you know, to be able to speak to the fact that we've grown, you know, we've adopted, you know, I love how forward-thinking Frank and Aida are about what's the next step. You know, you, because we talk like every day, mentioned, you saw the trend of the metagentes, the pickers, going away, because back in the day, you'd come into Los Algodones and I'm like, holy moly, man, it was like a pack of rabid dogs, just, you know, all of them. And you were like, you know what? I have a feeling that we're going to start going a different direction. When COVID happened, you guys were quick to pivot. And you know what? How can we still bring the patients in, make them feel comfortable, show them that we're taking all the proper steps with PPA and all that stuff to make sure that they can still travel, get the work they need done, save their money, and not have the concern of the crazy COVIDness stuff, you know?
Yeah, you know, we adapt. I mean, we understand that the world changes, and either you change or it changes you. I mean, it's
Absolutely.
And we are always adapting. That's why we're going to, obviously, I mean, Dubai is amazing. I'm not going to lie. But the main focus of it was that the dental conference and the world's biggest dental exhibition, we want to see what's out there.
Sure.
And obviously, I think I spoke to both of you guys that we did see a couple things that we really liked. And one of them was, it was a kind of like it's like a carry-on bag, and we'll put some pictures here, George. It's like a carry-on bag, but it opens up and it has its own air compressor. It has its own electrical little generator, and you're able to offer. I mean, it has the suction, everything for you to do from
Little
implants.
mobile station.
Yeah, for a little mobile station, but it's small. You could carry like a luggage.
Nice.
Has little wheels and everything. It's made in Switzerland actually, and my wife's like, you know what? I would want to purchase 1 or 2, and we spoke to the team. We want to start offering something local here, but deeper into Los Algodones for patients, for people that really can't get the work done.
Sure.
And then go a little bit deeper in for patients that even if you give them free dental work, they can't even get here. So, the cleanings, extractions, fillings, perhaps the implants, give back to the people because we can and we want to.
Sure.
And a lot of people, when they help, they go way far to go help people and forget about the people around, and
Sure.
and my wife was and I said, "Oh, you're serious?" And she's like, "Yeah, I'm serious." So we came in and we spoke to the dentist, and all the dentists were like, "We're on, well, let's do this." So in the future, hopefully before this year's over, we are going to have those, and obviously we will talk all about it then. But we're always looking. I can be watching a movie, and you know about this. I could be looking at this, looking at that. I go to a resort in Cabo, as I go anywhere, and I'm like, you know what? I really like the customer service that they did here, and here. How am I going to incorporate this over here, and here? And then that one thing that we have in common is we think a lot. And sometimes that could go in favor.
Sure. Or it's your own enemy, right?
Or it's your own enemy.
Yeah.
And we're like, you know what? Let's use it for the favor part,
Yes.
And you win or you learn. It's plain and simple how it works. And every person that comes into this clinic is a different world. You don't know what they've been through. You don't know what they're doing to get here. You don't know what they had to sell or didn't have to sell or whatever
Sure.
it is. So you give each and every one of our patients the best solution and the care. And there's some patients that say, oh, my appointment was at 10 and it's 10:30, 10:45. Because they want to go with a specific doctor. And the doctor went into surgery.
Yeah.
And then the surgery became a larger surgery. And what we tell them is, when it's your turn to go in, we don't have a time limit. We're not going to tell you, oh, your 30-minute, your hour's up. Get up. Or I'm going to have this other
tomorrow.
Yeah, or this other doctor's going to jump in and
Yeah.
No, it's we finish what we started and we make sure that it's done correct. You're going to get the quality that you deserve for each and every one of the treatments, no matter what it is.
It's like that one patient where your team pulled the all-nighter. I was telling the patient
crazy.
just yesterday about it.
That was
you
crazy.
You can clearly see on the video they're leaving the clinic at like 6:40 in the morning or something crazy,
And I didn't approve that. So I wake up at 5 in the morning. I was gonna say I woke up at 5 in the morning to work out, but you would have caught me lying. So I woke up at 5 in the morning, and I see my phone had a lot of messages from the cameras, and I look, and I see Dr. Luis and Assistant Alondra, and I'm like, probably the computers. I mean, maybe the camera froze.
Yeah.
And then I refresh it, and no, it's there. So I call, and they pick up, and I'm like, what are you guys doing? Oh, well, one of our patients has to leave the next day, and she didn't want to extend her flight. So she didn't want to extend her flight.
Yeah.
And we decided just to be here to make sure that wherever. So the lab stood open. They stood open. She walked out happy at 6:30 in the morning, but I told them that never happened. I would have never approved that.
Yeah.
That makes no sense. Some of our assistants have kids. Some of our dentists have kids. And everybody has a life.
Sure.
So you need to have, when you're working, you work.
Sure.
When you're at home, you're at home. And, but that was pretty amazing. It is a pretty amazing story.
Yeah. I think they went the extra mile just to take care of her needs,
They went more than the extra mile.
Yeah, and I think it's so hard to try to convey the passion that everyone here has here to make everyone's experience amazing. Because people probably think we're biased because we work here, and of course we're going to say that. But when we're talking to Dr. Dulce right now, and the assistants, Dr. Dulce herself said, "I would hate for a patient to feel like we are an assembly line clinic. Next, like that's what it's not about. And obviously, when I send out my reports to you and Aida, and we say, hey, what are patients saying? How are they hearing about us? There's a lot of times where patients say, personal recommendation, my cousin, my friend, my brother, my whoever, they went to you guys and they recommended you.
Word of mouth is our biggest marketing.
Sure.
You know, each and every one of the smiles that we build is like a walking billboard.
Absolutely.
Someone's gonna say, "Wow, that's a beautiful smile," or if they know you, "Wow, your teeth look way different. Wow, well, what did you do?" Oh,
Where'd
I
you
changed
go?
my smile. Yeah, where'd you go? And it's more than a commercial. It's more than a online marketing. It's somebody that you know that literally got the work done, and here it is.
It's like that gentleman that's the flight
The
attendant.
flight attendant, Jeff Somerville.
Yeah.
You know how many flight attendants has he sent over?
I booked one yesterday, as a matter of fact.
No
there you
kidding.
go.
Yeah.
And he made this blog, and he went out of his way to do
Sure.
so because he was so happy with the work. And you make happy patients, they go on and they're happy, and if they're bad, if they're not happy, then what is it? They talk bad about you like with 10 people, and if they're happy, they talk good about you with like 2 people.
Yeah.
Something like that. But what if you make them a fan?
Then it's nonstop speaking about you.
That is nonstop speaking about you. You know, it's and George has been there when I walk in. Dr. Laz has been there. Luis, when I walk in, and patients like, "You're the guy in the podcast.
Yeah.
You're that movie star." And I say, "Well, must have been a pretty cheap movie if I was the movie star."
Well, you know, what never is going to change about when you're working with people is people work with people they like.
Sure.
You know, whether it's a sales thing, it's a medical thing, is, you know, if they like you, they'll work with you. And people, I'd like to think, like to come back to us, one, for the work they get, but because they enjoy the supreme culture, the vibe, the friendliness, you know. So I just think that speaks to the culture that's been built here.
There you go. Very, very important, guys, is when you guys are looking for Supreme and you guys have done your research, seen us on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, heard us on Spotify, your friends told you about us, whatever the question might be, and you call anybody. It could be an agency, it could be anybody, and they try to send you somewhere else. Guys, you guys deserve this to you. If you guys have done your research and they try to send you somewhere else, hang up.
Absolutely.
Hang up the phone, because obviously you're speaking to the wrong people. If they're trying to send you to another clinic, hang up. And find the right phone number that's gonna lead you to, if it's another agency or whatever, that's gonna actually bring you to Supreme. You know, because if you want to come to Supreme and you've done your research with Supreme, why listen to someone that you probably are never gonna meet in your life, that most likely, just top secret, probably doesn't care about you and doesn't care about your results. If you're asking for Supreme, get Supreme. If you want to compare us with other clinics, we're all about it. You're gonna see the difference. But if you're calling for us and you've done your research, stick to it. Don't let anybody switch you to something different, because that's not what it's about.
Yeah, no, we don't shy away from speaking to anything that we have. You know, we'll always compare oranges to oranges, apples to apples, you know, all day, every day, you know. And some might say it might come across a little too, you know, arrogant or confident. It's like, no, we are confident in our abilities. You and I are confident in the dentist abilities. You know, the people that you guys pick to engage with patients. You know, it's everything's a very involved process. So I'd like to think that
Everything's personalized, man.
Yeah, I've had patients go for a second opinion, and right from the start, from the reception area, they're like, from there was a difference just from walking in, the way I was treated, and I just knew it wasn't for me, so I came back.
Yeah, a lot of our patients have gone somewhere else and then they come back.
Yep.
Hey, you know what? I'm just gonna get it done here, or I'd let them know. Hey, just so you know,
Sure.
when you leave and you go somewhere else, make sure they ask you for these things. If you decide not to be with us, it's perfectly fine. You know, we're not everyone's. So, I mean, I would hope that every patient would come to Supreme.
Sure.
But if for any reason we're not for you, then make sure that the implantologist is an implantologist. Make sure that he asks for a CAT scan before he says he's going to place the implants.
Yep.
You know, basic things. If not, you get up and you run because there's something very fishy.
Yeah.
You're not a car.
You can't just wing it, right? You just can't
let's
place
see
the
how it
implants
works.
wherever, right?
You know,
Yeah.
it doesn't work out. And you're not a car, so it's not like a car part that you go to AutoZone and O'Reilly's and see which one has the better deals to get that part.
And certainly no lemon law, right?
There's not yet. There's no lemon law, yeah. So right now we have Ernesto. We're going to put his phone number and his email if you want to get in contact with Ernesto Carranza. We also have Luis Oliva, same thing. We're going to have his phone number and we're going to have his email so you guys can talk to them directly if you guys have any questions, any concerns. Obviously, these are the newest members here at Supreme Dental. We're very happy. Obviously, you guys were handpicked. You guys, I've known you guys for many years. I don't interview people to put them on positions. And this type of positions, actually, I'm not going to lie to you. Ernesto questioned you. He's like, are you sure this guy is okay to come to Supreme?
Wow.
And you know why? Because he knows me for so long.
Sure.
And he didn't know you. So he's like, I mean, are you sure he's going to be doing the right things for our patients? That to me tells me that he cares.
Sure.
Because Jessica has also been working for us, his wife, for 4 years, 5 years?
Going on 5 this year, yeah.
Going on 5 years. So she also knows, everything all about us also. So, everybody tends to try to make sure that we keep, and we have Luceli in Cancun.
Yeah. Shout out to Luceli.
Luceli's ecstatic that we have you here on board, and she's very happy to talk to you also. You're a fan of Luceli also.
Luceli's awesome, man. I swear, like, if I'm ever having a bad day, all I have to do is send with Luceli what's up.
Yep.
And just her energy and good vibes and her genuineness comes across, man. Just like, oh, thanks, Luceli.
Yeah, it's like she's always happy. It's like when she messages you, like she's smiling. Like you can see her smiling when she sends you a
she's
message.
typing, right?
Yeah, it's crazy. But obviously you guys, very happy, very honored to have you both in the team. George is going to record videos for each and every one of you guys. And I hope that I know that our patients are going to be in the best hands possible with the people that are working. Jessica, with Luceli, with Ernesto, with Luis. You guys have our full confidence that you guys are going to make the right decisions. And then the coolest thing is you guys have direct access. And when the patients call you guys, when they call back, who are they going to get?
Me, each time.
Each time, yeah.
They're going to get you guys again.
Yeah. And if they don't get us, like if they don't get Luis, because he's busy, I have direct contact with Luis. Hey man, what's going on with this patient? Or can I ask him a question? Hey, can you call your patient back? Boom, he'll do it. Same thing with Jessica, same thing with Luceli. And just for the patients out there, my ask is, we appreciate you, anyone that even inquires to come see us, but just, give us some, we ask for your patience and we ask for your grace because these guys and gals are super busy. And sometimes there is a wait for us to look at x-rays or scans or quotes and things like that. So please don't ever think that if we aren't reaching back out to you right away, it's because we don't think like we're not worth the business or anything, or it's not enough money. It's simply because there's so many moving pieces to the puzzle that we just have to maybe wait for one thing or another. But we are going to give you the best experience when we connect.
Well, if somebody reaches you right away, that tells me that they're not busy. And why are they not busy? And there's a lot of questions there for me. But you guys have all individual numbers. If someone calls that individual number and calls again, obviously it's your guys' direct number. So
Yep. If I happen to be tied up with another patient, I'm going to call as soon as I hang up without a question.
And then they get text you guys.
Yep.
They get WhatsApp you guys. So thank you so much for being here. And I know that the week is just beginning and we're going to see you guys have seen great things so far.
Yeah, super excited to what's to come for sure.
But everything's about to go to the next level with the Pig Dental. So very excited for you guys to be down here. Thank you for both being here. This has been Supreme Dental Clinic. This has been Supreme Dental Podcast Studio powered by Supreme Dental Clinic, where we focus on your quality, not the quantity. Keep on smiling. Have a good one.